In a quiet town where secrets sleep under moonlight, one girl carries a power so dangerous it could burn the entire supernatural world. This is the story of the witch who vowed to destroy the vampire king, only to discover the truth that could destroy her instead. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more stories like this one. Let's begin. The night sky above Willowridge town was quiet, calm and peaceful, nothing like the chaos inside Elara Wynn's heart. She walked through the dim street with her hood pulled low, holding a small bag of herbs close to her chest. To the townspeople, she was just a quiet young woman who worked at the herbal shop. No one knew what she really was. No one knew the storm sleeping under her skin. Elara had been hiding her identity for 19 years. Hiding the truth. Hiding her power. Hiding her past. The Moonblood Coven had once been the strongest witch clan in the Shadow Realm. But that was before the massacre. Before the flames. Before the screams. Before she watched everything she loved disappear. The memory still hit her like a knife. Mother's voice. Father's last spell. The fire swallowing the sky. All she remembered clearly was the face of the man standing over her dying mother, a pale figure with cold silver eyes. The vampire king. Lucian Thorne. Her mother's last words echoed through her mind every night. Run, Elara. Run and survive. You must be the one who ends him. And Elara had sworn it. Her hatred became her breathing. Her revenge became her heartbeat. I will end the vampire king, she whispered to herself whenever the pain grew too heavy. I will end every monster who follows him. Tonight as she walked home, the air felt different. Sharp, electric, alive. Her witch senses prickled. Something powerful was moving. Something dark. Elara quickened her pace. But when she stepped inside her small cottage, the world shifted. Her vision blurred. Her chest tightened. The air thickened like unseen hands gripping her throat. She dropped her bag of herbs, and they scattered across the wooden floor. No, not now, she gasped. Her magic, dormant for years, erupted without warning. Blue sparks exploded from her palms, shooting across the room and cracking against the walls. Books fell from shelves. Her lamp shattered. Her pulse raced like thunder. Elara, breathe, she told herself, but her voice shook. Her magic was waking up. And it felt like a storm tearing her apart. A burning mark began to glow on her wrist, the Moonblood sigil she had kept hidden for years. Pulsed red, then blue, then white. No, stop, she whispered, clutching her wrist. I don't want this, not yet. But magic never asked for permission. A voice echoed inside her skull, ancient and cold. The bond is awakening. Elara froze. Bond? What bond? Before she could think, a wave of power burst from her body, slamming everything in the room against the walls. Chairs, books, even the wooden table. Then her breath caught. Through the violent haze of magic she felt someone. Far. Powerful. Touching. A presence colder than night but strangely familiar. Her vision flashed and she saw, just for a heartbeat, a tall, pale man standing in a throne room of shadow. He turned his silver eyes toward her as if he felt her too. Elara screamed and fell to the ground. The vision disappeared, but the afterimage stayed burned behind her eyes. No, she whispered. No, it can't be him. But she already knew. Her awakening powers had reached him. The vampire king had felt her. And now he knew she was alive. She pushed herself up, breath shaking, and stared at her glowing wrist. This is a sign, she whispered. It's time. She took the iron dagger hidden beneath her floorboard. The same dagger her mother gave her the night of the massacre. Find Lucian Thorne, her mother had whispered. And end him. Elara closed her fingers around the hilt, her eyes cold with purpose. I'm coming for you, vampire king, she said softly. This time I won't run. Far from the human world, deep inside the Shadow Realm, Lucian Thorne sat alone on his throne of obsidian stone. His palace was silent, carved into the darkness of a mountain that never saw daylight. Torches flickered along the black hall, casting long shadows across the cold floor. To the world, Lucian was a monster. Ruthless, emotionless, untouchable. A king feared by all. A king who had never been defeated. But the world did not know the truth. Lucian Thorne was dying. A curse was eating away at him slowly, draining his strength year after year. His once unstoppable power now flickered like a dying flame. Some days he could barely stand. Other days, the curse felt like daggers twisting through his veins. Tonight was worse. His breath trembled as he leaned back in his throne, gripping the armrest until it cracked beneath his fingers. "Your Majesty," came a voice from the shadows. Lucian didn't lift his head. "Speak, Rowan." Rowan Hale, his loyal advisor, stepped forward. His brown hair was tied back, and his expression was tight with worry. "You're weakening again." "It's nothing," Lucian replied coldly. "It's not nothing." Rowan stepped closer. "This curse is killing you." Lucian exhaled, long and tired. Something he rarely allowed himself to do. "It's been 19 years, Rowan continued. "No curse lasts this long unless—" "I know what you're about to say," Lucian cut in sharply. Rowan hesitated before whispering. "Unless the witch who carries the bond has awakened." Lucian closed his eyes, pain flashing across his face. Not just physical pain, but emotional, ancient, buried pain. "There is no bond," Lucian said. "She died that night." "You don't know that." Lucian's jaw tightened. 19 years ago, something had happened that changed his fate forever. Prophecy. Bond. A witch. Child. A bloodline that should have never been touched. Rowan looked at him with steady eyes. "Lucian, if she is alive, she is the only one who can break the curse." The words hung heavy in the air. The torches flickered again. And then Lucian felt it. A sudden pulse, sharp, burning, electric, ripped through his chest. His back arched in pain. He gasped, grabbing his shirt as dark veins spread across his skin. Rowan ran to him. "Your Majesty." Lucian's eyes widened. "No, this feeling, this magic." He rose to his feet even though his legs trembled. "It's her," he whispered. "Are you certain?" Rowan asked. Lucian's voice dropped, deep and shaken. "Yes. I felt her power awaken." A mix of emotions passed over his face. Fear, anger, and something else. Something raw. Rowan swallowed. "If she's alive, that means—" Lucian finished the sentence quietly. "The bond still exists." He turned toward the massive window overlooking the Valley of Shadows. His silver eyes glowed faintly. For 19 years he had searched. For 19 years he had hoped. For 19 years, he carried the guilt of a crime he didn't commit, yet the world believed he did. "Lucian," Rowan said softly, "if Elara Wynn truly survived that night, what will you do?" Lucian's answer came slowly. "Protect her," he whispered. "Even if she hates me." Rowan hesitated. "And if she tries to kill you like the prophecy warned?" Lucian's jaw clenched in quiet pain. "Then I will let her." Rowan stared at him. "You would let her destroy you?" Lucian closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them again, the cold king was back, but his voice held a deep ache beneath the surface. "She is the last Moonblood witch," he said. "The last of her family, because of me." "But you didn't kill them," Rowan insisted. "No," Lucian whispered, "but she believes I did." He pressed a hand against his chest where the curse pulsed like a second heartbeat. "This bond," he added, "it ties my life to hers. Her awakening power is the only reason I still stand." Rowan stepped back, understanding the full weight. "Then she will come for you," Rowan said. Lucian nodded. "Yes, she will come with hatred." "And what will you offer her in return?" "Truth," Lucian whispered. "And my life if she demands it." He walked down the steps of his throne, each movement slow but purposeful. "Prepare the guards," Lucian said. "No one is to harm her. Not a single soul." Rowan bowed. "Yes, my king." "And Rowan," Lucian added quietly. "Yes. If she steps into this realm, bring her to me." Rowan looked up at him. Alive! Lucian's expression softened for the first time, a ghost of pain, longing, and regret. Alive, he said. No matter what she tries. Later that night, Lucian stood alone in his private chamber, staring out into the endless dark. His breathing was uneven, and the curse burned hotter with every passing minute. He pressed his palm against the cold glass window. I felt you, he whispered into the night. Elara Wynn, you survived. A strange mixture of relief and dread washed over him. I don't know if you'll ever forgive me, he said softly. But I will protect you, even from yourself. The wind outside howled, and Lucian's silver eyes glowed with a dangerous promise. Come find me, little witch, he whispered. Fate has waited long enough. Back in the human world, Elara sat on the floor of her cottage, breathing slowly, trying to calm her pounding heart. The image of the silver-eyed king haunted her mind. That man, that monster, she whispered. Why could I feel him like he was standing right beside me? She gripped the dagger harder. I'm not afraid of you, she said aloud, even though her voice shook. I'll end you, and your whole kingdom. I swear it. But deep inside her, where she couldn't reach, the bond between witch and king pulsed for the first time in 19 years. A beginning neither of them could stop. A destiny neither of them fully understood. A war waiting to rise again. Elara barely slept. Her magic had awakened like a violent storm the night before, and the memory of the silver-eyed king burned inside her mind like fire. Every breath she took felt heavier, sharper, like her destiny was pushing her forward. The morning sun rose slowly over Willowridge, but the world no longer felt familiar to her. Her little cottage, once comforting, now felt too small, too quiet, too fragile for the power humming beneath her skin. She walked to the wooden table where her mother's grimoire sat, a thick, leather-bound book sealed with ancient moonblood markings. Elara had never been able to open it. The magic inside refused her touch. Till now. Her wrist, the moonblood sigil, glowed faintly. When she placed her palm on the book, it clicked open as easily as a whispered secret. Her breath caught. Pages glowed softly with silver and blue runes. Her mother's handwriting, soft and elegant, filled the margins. She turned to the first page, where a message was written. To my daughter, Elara Wynn. If this book has opened for you, then your power has awakened. And the bond has begun. Elara lowered herself into the chair, staring at those words. Her throat tightened. My mother knew, she whispered. She knew this would happen. She read further. There exists a bond between the moon bloodline and the one who carries the shadow crown. A bond of fate. A bond of power. A bond that should never have been created. Elara shook her head. Bond? What bond? What does this even mean? She flipped the pages faster. Another message appeared. If you feel the vampire king in your mind, in your magic, do not be afraid. Means you are connected. But remember, fate is not always your friend. If you wish to break the bond, you must kill him. Elara froze. Kill him, to break the bond. Her mother continued. If you kill the vampire king, the bond will die, and so will he. But if he dies, the shadow realm may collapse. The choice will be yours. Elara slammed the book shut. No, her voice cracked with anger. There is no choice. I don't care about bonds. I don't care about fate. Lucian Thorne destroyed my family. He deserves death. She stood abruptly, pacing the room. I won't be tied to him. I won't be bound to a monster. Her hands shook, sparks of magic flickering at her fingertips. I'll end him. I'll end everyone who follows him. Her eyes burned with tears, tears of rage and grief. I swear it, she whispered. I swear on my blood. She drew the iron dagger from her belt and sliced a small line across her palm. Blood dripped onto the floor. I will kill you, Vampire King, she said softly, voice trembling. And nothing will stop me. A wind rushed through her cottage, though the windows were closed. The candles flickered violently. A whisper curled through the air, like an ancient voice answering her oath. So the bond has been challenged. Elara startled, spinning around. Who's there? There was no one. But the voice continued, soft like a breath against her ear. Blood has been spilled. An oath has been made. The path of destruction begins. Then silence. Elara's heart pounded. She wrapped her bleeding hand with cloth, took her cloak and stepped outside. Every step she took felt like marching toward her destiny. The air around her hummed with energy, her energy. She walked toward the forest beyond town, where the boundary between the human world and the shadow realm lay thin and weak. I'm coming, Lucian Thorne, she whispered. I will finish what you started. But as she walked deeper into the forest, a strange feeling gripped her, a pressure in her chest, a faint echo of pain. It wasn't hers. It was his. A vision struck her again. Lucian clutching his chest, struggling for breath, his curse burning through him. Elara gasped and stumbled. Get out of my head, she shouted, slamming her fists against a tree. The vision faded, but not fully. She could feel the king somewhere far away, hurting. And that made her more furious than anything. You don't get to be weak, she muttered. You don't get to be human. You're the monster. Not me. She tightened her cloak and continued walking. Her oath was sealed. Her destiny had begun. The forest of shadows lived up to its name. As Elara entered deeper, the sunlight vanished behind thick, twisted branches. The air grew colder. The ground hummed with strange vibrations. Magic, old, dangerous magic, swirled around her ankles like mist. Fog drifted between the trees, whispering secrets she didn't want to hear. You shouldn't be here, she whispered to herself. Not without a plan. Not without help. But she kept walking, driven by anger, driven by the bond she refused to accept. Then she stopped. The hairs on her arms rose. The forest went silent, completely silent. No birds, no wind, no movement. Her witch senses screamed. She wasn't alone. Elara reached for her dagger quietly. She moved slowly, trying not to make noise. Snap. A branch broke behind her. Elara spun around, blade raised. She saw nothing. Don't move. The voice came from above her. Elara looked up and gasped. A vampire with red eyes and ash-white hair crouched on a branch directly overhead. His fangs glinted. Before she could react, two more vampires stepped out from behind the trees, their dark armor marked with the crest of the Vampire King. Lucian's warriors. Elara's pulse quickened. One vampire stepped forward, tall and broad-shouldered, with a scar across his cheek. Witch, he said with a deep voice. You're coming with us. Elara lifted her chin. Over my dead body. That can be arranged, the scarred vampire replied. The air tightened. Elara's heart pounded. Her magic buzzed under her skin. She took a slow step back. The vampires moved closer. Don't run, the vampire on the branch said calmly. You won't make it 10 steps. Elara smirked despite her fear. Then count my steps carefully. She threw her hand forward, blue fire exploding from her palm. The blast hit the vampire on the branch, knocking him to the ground with a crash. The other two lunged at her instantly. Elara ducked, rolled, and slashed her dagger through the air, sending a sharp arc of magic slicing toward them. The ground shook. Leaves scattered. One vampire dodged. The other wasn't fast enough. He crashed into a tree, sparks flying from his armor. The scarred vampire hissed. She's stronger than expected. Elara raised her chin proudly. You have no idea. The first vampire regained his footing and snarled. The king felt your awakening. He wants you alive. Elara froze. She knew it. She knew Lucian had felt her. Anger boiled in her chest. I am not his anything, she snapped. They didn't listen. The scarred vampire vanished in a blink, reappearing behind her. His arms grabbed her waist. Elara gasped and kicked backward, twisting fiercely. She bit his arm, sparks flaring from her mouth. He yelped and dropped her. Ran. Branches whipped against her face. Magic crackled beneath her feet. Her heartbeat thundered. "After her!" one vampire shouted. Elara jumped over a fallen log, sliding under another. She felt movement behind her. The vampires were unbelievably fast. She blasted a wave of witchfire behind her, but they dodged easily. Pieces of her mother's grimoire flashed through her mind. Moon-blood witches do not flee. They fight. They survive. Elara skidded to a stop, turned around and raised both hands. Blue flames burst from her fingertips like lightning. They struck the ground, creating a massive crack that split the path. The vampires stumbled. Elara breathed hard, sweat dripping down her face. "Leave me alone," she warned. "I don't want to fight." "You should tell that to the king," the scarred vampire sneered. "He's been searching for you for 19 years. Elara froze. "What did you say?" The vampire smirked. "You think he wants you dead? You poor clueless witch. The king has been protecting you." Elara's hands trembled. She shook her head violently. "No. No, that's a lie." "Is it?" the vampire taunted. "Why do you think no other vampires ever touched you in the human world? Why do you think we found you only now, when your magic awakened?" Elara blinked, confused and furious. "You're lying," she screamed. The vampire lunged. Elara reacted on instinct. Her magic exploded from her body in a bright blast. The ground under her cracked, trees shook, and a ring of blue fire surrounded her. The vampires shielded their faces. "What is she?" one shouted. Elara's eyes glowed bright blue. "I'm the witch who will end your king." The scarred vampire hissed. "Then we'll take you by force." He rushed toward her, faster than the wind. Elara pushed her hands out. "Stay away from me." A shockwave erupted. It hit all 3 vampires at once, sending them flying backwards into trees, rocks, and shadows. Elara collapsed to one knee, chest heaving. Her magic was strong, but using it felt like tearing pieces out of herself. She struggled to stand. But then, a new presence moved through the trees. Low, powerful, ancient. The vampires fell silent. A cold voice echoed between the branches. "Enough." Elara's breath caught. The fog shifted. A tall figure stepped out from the shadows, dressed in black, with a long dark coat flowing behind him. His silver eyes glowed faintly. Her entire body froze. Lucian Thorne, the vampire king. Her heart stopped. His eyes met hers. For a moment the world fell silent. The bond pulsed. Elara stumbled backward, gripping her dagger. "Stay away from me." Lucian didn't move closer. His expression was unreadable, but his voice was low and steady. "You shouldn't be here alone." She glared at him. "I came to kill you." Lucian's eyes softened with something she didn't understand. "I know." Her anger exploded. "You murdered my family." Lucian's jaw tensed, a flicker of pain crossing his face. "Elara, you don't know the truth." "Don't say my name," she snapped, trembling. "Don't you dare say my name." Lucian took a slow breath. "You shouldn't have awakened the bond this violently. You'll hurt yourself." "I don't care," she shouted. "I'd rather die than share anything with you." Lucian stepped forward, but gently, cautiously, like approaching a wounded animal. "Elara, please listen." She threw a blast of fire at him. Lucian lifted his hand. The fire vanished before it reached him. Elara's eyes widened. "What?" Lucian spoke softly, almost sadly. "You don't know what you are yet." "I know enough," she whispered. "You ruined my life." Lucian swallowed hard. "One day you will understand. But for now," he stepped closer. "You need to come with me. It isn't safe for you here." Elara raised her blade. "Take one more step and I swear I'll." The world tilted. Her vision blurred. Her legs buckled. Magic, too much magic, had drained her. Lucian caught her before she hit the ground. His arms were surprisingly warm. Elara weakly pushed at his chest. Let go," Lucian whispered, voice low with something like regret. "I've waited 19 years to find you alive. I won't let anything harm you now." Her vision dimmed. His silver eyes were the last thing she saw before everything went dark. Elara woke slowly, like someone rising from the bottom of a dark ocean. Her head felt heavy. Her body ached. Her magic hummed weakly under her skin, tired, drained. She blinked, her eyes open. What she saw made her breath freeze. She was lying on a bed made of soft black fabric, inside a large room lit by silver lanterns. The walls were carved from dark stone, decorated with elegant patterns she didn't recognize. The air held the faint scent of cold night and something she couldn't name. This wasn't her cottage. This wasn't Willowridge. This wasn't the human world. A wave of fear shot through her chest. "No, no, no, no," she whispered as she sat up. Then a deep voice came from the shadows. "You're awake." Elara's heart slammed. She whipped her head toward the voice. There he stood. The Vampire King. Lucian Thorne. Tall, quiet, cold. And watching her with those silver eyes that made her feel too many things at once. She threw the blanket aside and stumbled out of bed. "Stay away from me." Lucian didn't move. He simply stood there, hands clasped behind his back, expression unreadable. "You passed out in the forest," he said calmly. "You burned through too much magic." "I didn't ask you to help me," she snapped. Lucian tilted his head slightly. "You were dying, Elara." "I said don't say my name," she shouted. Her voice echoed through the room. Lucian's eyes softened, barely, but enough to trouble her. "Very well." "Which?" That irritated her even more, but she ignored it. Her gaze darted around the room. The windows were covered with heavy curtains. 2 guards stood outside the door, silent as statues. A silver chain hung loosely around her wrist, thin, almost invisible, glowing faintly. She grabbed it. "What is this?" Lucian stepped closer slowly. "Calm yourself. Answer me." Lucian stopped a few steps away. "It is a stabilizer chain. Keeps your magic from destroying your body. Your awakening was too violent." Elara scoffed, anger rising. "And you expect me to believe you care whether I live or die?" Lucian's jaw tightened. "More than you realize." She glared. "If you want to kill me, do it. The bond will probably keep you alive anyway." Lucian's expression darkened with something like pain. "You truly believe I want you dead? You massacred my family," she hissed. Silence. A heavy, suffocating silence. Lucian looked away for a brief moment, as if her words physically hit him. When he looked back at her, the cold king mask slipped just enough for her to notice the guilt beneath. "I did not kill your family." Elara's breath caught. "Liar." Lucian shook his head once. "I was there, yes. But not as their murderer." Elara stepped forward, fury boiling. "You expect me to believe that?" Lucian didn't flinch. "Believe what you want. But I did not touch your parents. I did not burn your coven." "Stop lying," she shouted, her voice breaking. "I saw you in the flames." "What you saw," Lucian interrupted quietly, "was what you were meant to see." Elara blinked. "What does that mean?" Lucian moved closer, his voice low. "You were a child. Someone altered your memories." Elara froze. "No, no, that's not possible." "It is," Lucian said. "And one day, when your magic fully awakens, you will see the truth." Elara shook her head violently. "You're trying to confuse me." "I am trying to protect you," Lucian replied softly. Those words made her step backward. "Don't," she whispered. "Don't pretend you care." Lucian exhaled slowly. "Whether you hate me or not, you are safer here. Outside these walls, other vampires will hunt you. Some witches as well." Elara narrowed her eyes. "Why? Why would they hunt me?" Lucian hesitated. "Elara, tell me." Lucian looked at her with a heaviness she didn't understand. "You are the last moon blood witch," he said quietly. "Your bloodline is the only one that can destroy or save the Shadow Realm." Elara swallowed hard. "And you," Lucian continued, "are the only one who can break my curse." Elara's breath caught. "What curse?" she whispered, confused. Lucian looked away. "One that kills me slowly." Good, she wanted to say. "Let it kill you." But her chest tightened sharply. Not her emotion. The bond pulsed. Elara stepped back, grabbing her head. "Stop. Stop letting me feel what you feel." Lucian's eyes widened slightly. "You can feel me already." "Make it stop," she cried. "I cannot," Lucian said quietly. "Not yet." The bond pulsed again, 2 heartbeats echoing as one. Elara forced herself to breathe. She didn't want this connection. She didn't want his pain mixing with hers. "Undo the bond," she demanded. Lucian's face hardened. "If I could, I would. The bond is older than both of us." "Then I will break it," she said coldly. "I'll kill you." Lucian met her gaze without fear. "If my death will free you, then I will not resist." Elara froze. Why would he say something like that? Why did his voice sound so honest? So tired. She wasn't ready for this. Not emotionally. Not magically. She looked away, tightening her grip on the silver stabilizer chain. "I'm leaving this place," she said. "And when I do, I'll destroy you." Lucian gave a small nod. "If that is what you want." "It is," she snapped. Lucian turned toward the door. "I will give you space," he said quietly. "But you should eat. Your body needs strength." He gestured, and a table appeared at the far side of the room, filled with fruits, bread, soup, and water. Elara didn't answer. Lucian stepped into the hallway, paused, and looked back at her. His voice was soft. "I'm glad you survived." Then he shut the door behind him. Elara sat on the bed slowly, her legs shaking. For the first time since the massacre, doubt slipped into her heart. What if the monster she swore to kill was not the monster at all? Hours passed. Elara refused to touch the food, but hunger eventually won. She ate quietly, silently, her mind tangled with thoughts she didn't want to think. Her parents, the massacre, Lucian's words. Bon. Her head hurt just thinking about it. Once she finished the meal, she stood and walked to the heavy door. She pressed her palm against it gently. It didn't open. "Of course," she muttered. "Prisoner, not guest." The moment she stepped back, the door swung open on its own. Elara stiffened. Outside the door stood one of Lucian's guards, a tall, well-armored man with dark hair and unsettling red eyes. He didn't look at her directly. "His Majesty requests your presence," he said. "I'm not going anywhere," Elara replied. The guard finally looked up. "You are not forced, witch. But the king wishes to speak with you." "Good for him," she muttered. "I'm staying here." The guard hesitated. "He said you would say that." Then he stepped aside and added, "But he also said to tell you this. You deserve answers." Elara froze. Those words hit her like a blow. Answers. Answers she needed. Answers she hated wanting. She sighed heavily. "Fine. But don't touch me." The guard bowed slightly. "I wouldn't dare." Elara followed him through the long hallway. The palace was unlike anything she had imagined. Tall carved walls. Floating silver torches. Shadowy figures moving through the corridors like living smoke. It was ancient, beautiful, terrifying. She hated that part of her, found it fascinating. They reached a balcony overlooking the Shadow Realm, a landscape of dark mountains, glowing rivers, and floating islands of stone. The sky shimmered a deep purple, swirling with streaks of silver. Elara's breath caught. "This place is unreal." "Dangerous," the guard corrected. "And alive." Elara looked at him sharply. "Alive." He didn't explain. Instead, he led her farther until they reached a tall black door with silver markings. The door opened before they touched it. Lucian stood inside. He was leaning slightly against a table, breath uneven. His curse was acting up again. Dark veins crawled under his skin for a moment before fading. Elara frowned. "You look like death." Lucian gave a weak smile. "And you look alive. That is enough for me." "Stop trying to be charming," she snapped. "It's disturbing." Lucian straightened slowly. "Come. I asked you here because you need to understand why your life is in danger." Elara crossed her arms. "Explain then." Lucian nodded toward a large map glowing on the table. "You know the Shadow Realm is home to vampires, witches, beasts, and demons." Elara shrugged. "Yes. So. But what you do not know," Lucian continued, "is that the Moon-blood witches kept balance here for centuries. They were the only coven powerful enough to hold back the corruption spreading through the realm." Elara stiffened. "What corruption?" Lucian touched a dark, pulsing mark on the map. "A force called the Void. Destroys magic. Devours it. If it spreads too far, this realm, and eventually your world, will fall." Elara swallowed. "And what does this have to do with me?" Lucian met her eyes. "Your bloodline is the last barrier between both worlds and destruction." Elara shook her head. "Impossible. I'm not strong enough." "You will be," Lucian said quietly. "Once your powers finish awakening." A chill ran up her spine. Lucian continued, voice steady. "And that is why someone hunted your coven 19 years ago." Elara's heart stopped. "Someone?" Lucian nodded. "A traitor within your own coven worked with a rogue vampire faction to slaughter the Moon bloodline." Elara trembled. "You're lying." Lucian shook his head. "No. I arrived too late to save them. But I did save one." Elara blinked hard. "One? Who?" Lucian looked at her gently. "You." Her breath caught painfully. "I carried you through the fire," Lucian said softly. "You were a child, barely breathing. Your parents. They begged me to protect you." Elara felt the ground shift beneath her. "No. That can't. My mother hated vampires." Lucian stepped closer, voice breaking slightly. "Your mother trusted me with her life. She trusted me with yours." Elara's throat tightened. "Stop. Stop talking." Lucian obeyed and stepped back. But Elara's mind wouldn't stop spinning. Her memories, her anger, her hatred, her oath. What if everything was wrong? What if she was hating the wrong person? Lucian's voice, soft and tired, pulled her back. "Elara, I am not your enemy." She looked up slowly, into those silver eyes she had sworn to fear. For the first time, she didn't see a monster. She saw a man carrying centuries of guilt. A man dying from a curse. A man who saved a child and spent 19 years watching from afar. "Elara," he whispered, "you deserve the truth." Her heart throbbed painfully. She didn't trust him. She didn't forgive him. But she needed the truth. "Fine," she whispered. "Tell me everything." Lucian nodded once. And for the first time in 19 years, Elara stepped closer to the truth that would change everything. Elara expected the Shadow Realm to be a place of fire, screams, and torment. But instead, she found herself standing in a grand hallway lit by silver torches, their flames strangely cold but beautiful. The walls were carved with ancient runes that glowed faintly, like stars trapped in stone. Lucian walked beside her in silence. He didn't shove her, didn't threaten her. He simply led her through the corridors with a calmness that made her uneasy. She hated how graceful he looked. How quiet. How unreadable. He was supposed to be a monster. Yet he walked like a man carrying centuries of grief. Elara clenched her fists. "Don't feel anything. Hate him. Hate him." When they reached a large chamber, Lucian stopped. "This will be your room," he said, voice low and smooth. "My room," she spat. "You kidnapped me. I'm not staying here." Lucian turned to face her fully. The silver light touched his features, revealing faint scars across his jaw and neck, old ones healed long ago. She had never seen those scars before. No portrait ever showed them. Would you rather stay in the dungeon? He asked calmly. Elara opened her mouth, then shut it. No. Then you stay here. She went rigid as he stepped closer, lowering his voice. Elara Wynn, you are not my prisoner. You're the key to stopping my brother. And like it or not, you are under my protection. I don't need your protection. His eyes darkened. You do. Damien has already tried to take you once. Elara's breath hitched, anger and confusion twisting together. So what? You're the better monster between the two of you. Lucian didn't flinch. If I wanted you dead, you wouldn't be standing here. She froze. He stepped back, giving her space. You will stay here. You will train. And you will learn the truth instead of clinging to the lies he fed you. I don't trust you, Elara whispered. Lucian's expression flickered. Pain, maybe. I don't expect your trust, he said quietly. Just your willingness to survive. Then he left. The door closed softly behind him. Not locked, not barred. Elara pressed a hand against her racing heart. Damn him. Why doesn't he act like the monster I prepared my whole life to hate? Why does he sound like a man who's been broken too many times? She shook off the thoughts and scanned the room. A soft bed, a balcony, shelves filled with spellbooks she recognized from her childhood coven. Her throat tightened. Who put these books here? Who knew they were from her mother's collection? She swallowed hard. Lucian. The name left her mouth before she could stop it. The next morning, Lucian sent someone to fetch her. A vampire woman with short black hair and a blunt expression. I'm Mara, she said. The king sent me. We start training now. Training for what? Elara asked cautiously. To control your magic. Before it tears the realm apart. Elara frowned. My magic. But she didn't get to finish. Mara grabbed her wrist and led her to a wide courtyard where the dark sky shimmered with violet clouds. Energy pulsed in the air like a storm waiting to break. Lucian stood in the center, coat flowing like shadows spilled from his body. When he saw her, something softened in his gaze. Elara, he said. Come. She hesitated. Mara nudged her. You won't explode. Probably. Comforting, Elara muttered. Lucian extended his hand. Your power has awakened too quickly. You cannot control it on your own. I can try. You can die, he corrected. Or worse. Damien could use your uncontrolled magic against you. She bit her lip. Lucian stepped closer, voice gentle. Let me help. Elara stared at his hand for a long moment, then placed her palm in his. A jolt blasted through her body, lightning mixed with heat. Lucian inhaled sharply, his grip tightening for a brief moment before he let go. She staggered back. What was that? The bond, he said softly. It reacts when our magic touches. I didn't agree to any bond. You were born with it, Elara. Neither of us had a choice. Anger flared inside her. So you're saying I was doomed to be tied to you? The Vampire King. His voice dropped to a whisper. Not doomed. Connected. She hated that the word sent shivers through her. Focus. Lucian stepped behind her. Close, too close. Now breathe, he murmured. She obeyed reluctantly. Magic is emotion, he said. Fear, anger, hope. You must learn to command them, not let them drown you. He placed his hands near her waist, not touching but guiding. Feel the energy in your chest. Pull it inward. Don't let it escape. Elara tried. At first, the energy surged wild like a storm. But Lucian's calm voice grounded her. Good, he said. Again. She repeated the process. Her fingers trembled, sweat forming on her forehead. Her magic pulsed dangerously. Elara, focus, he said, more urgent. I'm trying. The power burst outward before she could stop it. A violent wave of silver light shot from her, forcing Lucian to shield her with his own body. The force threw both of them back. Elara hit the ground, gasping. Lucian landed beside her, hair disheveled, coat torn at the sleeve. Are you hurt? He asked. Her heart raced. He was close enough for her to see the worry in his eyes. "No," she whispered. "But I almost destroyed you." "You won't," he said, breathless but steady. "I'll teach you, even if it takes centuries." Elara stared at him, stunned. He really means it. Mara approached, shaking her head. He's insane for doing this himself. But then again, he's always been insane when it comes to you. Elara blinked. "Me? Why?" "Mara," Lucian warned sharply. But Mara only smirked. "Fine, fine. I won't tell her how many times you." "Mara." The woman sighed dramatically and walked away. Elara turned to Lucian slowly. "How many times you what?" she asked. Lucian looked away. "It's nothing." "Lucian." He met her eyes, expression guarded. "Another time." And though she hated it, she wanted to know. That night, Elara stood on the balcony, staring at the twin moons hanging in the sky. The shadow realm was strange, cold, beautiful. She heard the door open behind her. Lucian's presence was unmistakable. Quiet, heavy, ancient. "You're awake." She didn't turn. "I can't sleep." He stepped beside her, hands resting lightly on the stone railing. "Your magic is tied to your emotions. Restlessness is normal. The more you fear it, the stronger it grows." "Then how do I stop feeling?" she whispered. Lucian glanced at her. "You don't. You learn to feel without drowning." His voice was soft, so soft it almost hurt. She swallowed. "Lucian, what really happened to my coven?" His jaw tightened. "Elara, the truth will break you." "It already has." He exhaled, long and tired. "Then prepare yourself. Tomorrow I'll show you everything." He walked away, leaving her heart twisting in knots. Elara expected the shadow realm to be a place of fire, screams, and torment. But instead, she found herself standing in a grand hallway lit by silver torches, their flames strangely cold but beautiful. The walls were carved with ancient runes that glowed faintly, like stars trapped in stone. Lucian walked beside her in silence. He didn't shove her, didn't threaten her. He simply led her through the corridors with a calmness that made her uneasy. She hated how graceful he looked. How quiet. How unreadable. He was supposed to be a monster. Yet he walked like a man carrying centuries of grief. Elara clenched her fists. "Don't feel anything. Hate him. Hate him." When they reached a large chamber, Lucian stopped. "This will be your room," he said, voice low and smooth. "My room," she spat. "You kidnapped me. I'm not staying here." Lucian turned to face her fully. The silver light touched his features, revealing faint scars across his jaw and neck, old ones healed long ago. She had never seen those scars before. No portrait ever showed them. "Would you rather stay in the dungeon?" he asked calmly. Elara opened her mouth, then shut it. "No." "Then you stay here." She went rigid as he stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Elara Wynn, you are not my prisoner. You're the key to stopping my brother. And like it or not, you are under my protection." "I don't need your protection." His eyes darkened. "You do. Damien has already tried to take you once." Elara's breath hitched, anger and confusion twisting together. "So what? You're the better monster between the two of you." Lucian didn't flinch. "If I wanted you dead, you wouldn't be standing here." He froze. He stepped back, giving her space. "You will stay here. You will train. And you will learn the truth instead of clinging to the lies he fed you." "I don't trust you," Elara whispered. Lucian's expression flickered. Pain, maybe. "I don't expect your trust," he said quietly. "Just your willingness to survive." Then he left. The door closed softly behind him. Not locked, not barred. Elara pressed a hand against her racing heart. Damn him. Why doesn't he act like the monster I prepared my whole life to hate? Why does he sound like a man who's been broken too many times? She shook off the thoughts and scanned the room. A soft bed, a balcony, shelves filled with spellbooks she recognized from her childhood coven. Her throat tightened. Who put these books here? Who knew they were from her mother's collection? She swallowed hard. Lucian. The name left her mouth before she could stop it. The next morning, Lucian sent someone to fetch her, a vampire woman with short black hair and a blunt expression. "I'm Mara," she said. "The king sent me. We start training now." "Training for what?" Elara asked cautiously. "To control your magic. Before it tears the realm apart." Elara frowned. "My magic." But she didn't get to finish. Mara grabbed her wrist and led her to a wide courtyard where the dark sky shimmered with violet clouds. Energy pulsed in the air like a storm waiting to break. Lucian stood in the center, coat flowing like shadows spilled from his body. When he saw her, something softened in his gaze. "Elara," he said. "Come." She hesitated. Mara nudged her. "You won't explode." "Probably." "Comforting," Elara muttered. Lucian extended his hand. "Your power has awakened too quickly. You cannot control it on your own." "I can try." "You can die," he corrected. "Or worse. Damien could use your uncontrolled magic against you." She bit her lip. Lucian stepped closer, voice gentle. "Let me help." Elara stared at his hand for a long moment, then placed her palm in his. A jolt blasted through her body, lightning mixed with heat. Lucian inhaled sharply, his grip tightening for a brief moment before he let go. She staggered back. "What was that?" "The bond," he said softly. "It reacts when our magic touches." "I didn't agree to any bond." "You were born with it, Elara. Neither of us had a choice." Anger flared inside her. "So you're saying I was doomed to be tied to you? The Vampire King." His voice dropped to a whisper. "Not doomed. Connected." She hated that the word sent shivers through her. "Focus." Lucian stepped behind her. "Close, too close." "Now breathe," he murmured. She obeyed reluctantly. "Magic is emotion," he said. "Fear, anger, hope. You must learn to command them, not let them drown you." He placed his hands near her waist, not touching but guiding. "Feel the energy in your chest. Pull it inward. Don't let it escape." Elara tried. At first, the energy surged wild like a storm. But Lucian's calm voice grounded her. "Good," he said. "Again." She repeated the process. Her fingers trembled, sweat forming on her forehead. Her magic pulsed dangerously. "Elara, focus," he said, more urgent. "I'm trying." The power burst outward before she could stop it. A violent wave of silver light shot from her, forcing Lucian to shield her with his own body. The force threw both of them back. Elara hit the ground, gasping. Lucian landed beside her, hair disheveled, coat torn at the sleeve. "Are you hurt?" he asked. Her heart raced. He was close enough for her to see the worry in his eyes. "No," she whispered. "But I almost destroyed you." "You won't," he said, breathless but steady. "I'll teach you, even if it takes centuries." Elara stared at him, stunned. "He really means it." Mara approached, shaking her head. "He's insane for doing this himself. But then again, he's always been insane when it comes to you." Elara blinked. "Me? Why?" "Mara," Lucian warned sharply. But Mara only smirked. "Fine, fine. I won't tell her how many times you." "Mara." The woman sighed dramatically and walked away. Elara turned to Lucian slowly. "How many times you what?" she asked. Lucian looked away. "It's nothing." "Lucian." He met her eyes, expression guarded. "Another time." And though she hated it, she wanted to know. That night, Elara stood on the balcony, staring at the twin moons hanging in the sky. The shadow realm was strange, cold, beautiful. She heard the door open behind her. Lucian's presence was unmistakable. Quiet, heavy, ancient. "You're awake." She didn't turn. "I can't sleep." He stepped beside her, hands resting lightly on the stone railing. "Your magic is tied to your emotions. Restlessness is normal. The more you fear it, the stronger it grows." Then how do I stop feeling? She whispered. Lucian glanced at her. You don't. You learn to feel without drowning. His voice was soft, so soft it almost hurt. She swallowed. Lucian, what really happened to my coven? His jaw tightened. Elara, the truth will break you. It already has. He exhaled, long and tired. Then prepare yourself. Tomorrow I'll show you everything. He walked away, leaving her heart twisting in knots. Elara barely slept after Damien's visit. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw his wicked smile. Her mother's lifeless body. Lucian fighting alone in the burning sanctuary. By dawn, she was exhausted, brittle, and afraid. Lucian stayed outside her door all night. She sensed his presence, silent, unmoving, as if he was guarding her life with his own. She didn't open the door. She didn't speak to him. She couldn't. Her emotions were a storm she couldn't contain. Fear, rage, confusion, and a strange pull toward the very man she had sworn to hate. When the sunless light of the Shadow Realm morning filled her room, she walked to the mirror. Her magic radiated under her skin, silver veins shimmering like moonlight trapped inside her. Elara whispered to herself, "Control. I need control." But her magic pulsed even stronger. A knock sounded. "Elara," Lucian called softly. "We need to talk." She swallowed. "Not now." "Elara." "I said not now." A heartbeat of silence. Then footsteps walking away. She exhaled shakily, leaning against the wall. Why am I like this? Why can't I think clearly around him? Later that morning, Mara found her in the courtyard. "You look like someone dropped you into a tornado and spun you twice," Mara said bluntly. "Thanks," Elara muttered. "Very comforting. Anytime." Mara's expression softened. Lucian is on edge. More than usual. And that's saying something. Elara looked away. "He shouldn't worry about me." "He isn't worried," Mara said. "He's terrified." Elara's lips parted. "Terrified? Of what?" Mara crossed her arms. "Of losing you. Again." Elara's stomach tightened. Before she could respond, the ground shook violently, like the realm itself was trembling. "An attack?" Elara asked. Mara's eyes narrowed. "A breach." They both turned toward the northern gate. The iron barrier glowed red, cracks spreading across it like lava. "Damien," Elara whispered. Mara cursed. "Stay behind me." Too late. The gate exploded outward, sending shards of iron flying. From the smoke, Damien emerged wearing a cruel smile. "Well, well," he drawled. "Everyone's awake." Mara grabbed Elara's wrist. "Run now." But Damien flicked his fingers, sending Mara flying into a wall. She crumpled, groaning but alive. Elara's breath hitched. Damien stepped toward her. "Did you tell him you saw me? That I touched you?" His smile widened devilishly. "I wonder how that made him feel." Before she could react, Damien disappeared, then reappeared right behind her. A cold hand clamped over her mouth. "You're coming with me, little witch." Elara struggled, kicking, clawing, but Damien's strength was monstrous. Her magic sparked in panic, but he tightened his grip. Don't bother," he hissed. "Your power is beautiful, but wild. That's why I need you." A swirl of black smoke wrapped around them. "Elara!" Lucian's roar cut through the courtyard like lightning. Elara felt her heart twist violently. "Lucian!" She tried to scream, but Damien's hand muffled her voice. Lucian shot forward with supernatural speed, eyes blazing blood-red. Shadows erupted behind him like wings. He was feral, deadly, unrecognizable. "Let her go." Damien smirked, pulling Elara closer. "Oh, brother." Still dramatic. Lucian's rage thickened the air itself. "Damien. I swear on my throne if you harm her." "You'll what?" Damien taunted. "Kill me. You've had centuries to try." The shadows behind Lucian snapped like broken thunder. He lunged. But just before he reached them, Damien vanished with Elara in his grip. The last thing she saw was Lucian's face twisting in raw, unfiltered agony. Elara woke in a dark chamber. Chains of enchanted silver bound her wrists and ankles. The room smelled of ash and old magic. Damien lounged on a throne-like seat across from her. "Wakey, wakey." She glared at him. "Let me go." "No," Damien said lightly. "You and I are going to have a little cooperation. I'll never help you." He chuckled. "You say that now. But you will." Elara pulled against the chains, but they burned like fire. Damien watched with amusement. "You feel that? Moonblood magic forged those chains. I have your coven's legacy in my hands. And soon I'll use you to destroy Lucian." "Why?" she spat. "Why do you hate him so much?" Damien's smile vanished. He leaned forward, eyes hard as stone. "Because he was born to be king. Not me. Our father chose him. And he loved Lucian more." There it was, the truth dripping with bitterness. "This is all because of jealousy," she whispered. Damien's expression twisted. "Oh, little witch. You don't understand. Lucian isn't just king. He is everything I'm not. And as long as he lives, I'll be nothing." He walked to her slowly. "But with your power," Damien murmured, touching her silver-veined cheek, "I can rewrite destiny." Elara recoiled. Damien's grin returned. "Time to start." He pressed his hand over her heart. Elara screamed as her magic surged outward against her will, controlled by Damien's dark energy. The chains tightened. "Stop," she gasped. "Please stop." Damien's eyes glimmered with triumph. Yes, fight it. The stronger you resist, the more power I draw." Her vision blurred. Her heartbeat slowed. "Lucian," she whispered. And everything went dark. "Where is she?" Lucian snarled. Mara, injured but standing, wiped blood from her forehead. "Northern Fortress. Damien's hideout." Lucian's eyes glowed red. "Gather the night guard. We leave now." Mara hesitated. "Lucian. Damien won't kill her." "Not yet. But he will use her bond against you." Lucian's jaw clenched. His voice was a growl. "I don't care if I burn the entire Shadow Realm to ashes. I'm bringing her back." His shadows erupted like wings of darkness, and he soared into the sky.
Elara regained consciousness slowly. Her whole body trembled. The chains glowed brighter now. Damien had taken a dangerous amount of her power. Her heart hurt, but not from the pain. From the bond. Lucian was coming. She could feel him. His rage. His terror. His desperation. It echoed in her chest, thrumming like a second heartbeat. Lucian, she whispered weakly. Damien appeared beside her. "I see you're awake. Perfect timing. Your lover boy is almost here. He's not." She forced the words out. He's not my anything. Damien laughed.
"He's not my anything."
"Oh, Elara."
Damien laughed.
"Your soul disagrees."
Elara. Your soul
He lifted
disagrees.
her chin, forcing her to meet
He
his
lifted
red
her
gaze.
chin, forcing her to meet his
the
red
bond
gaze.
will break.
Today
when
the
it
bond
does,
will break.
Lucian will
and
fall.
when it does,
Elara
Lucian will
gasped.
fall.
"Break?"
Elara gasped.
"You can't."
"Break."
"Oh,
You can't.
but I can."
"Oh, but I can."
Damien grinned.
Damien
"You,
grinned.
Moonblood
You,
witch.
Moonblood
Hold the
witch.
power to
Hold
sever
the
the
power
bond.
to sever the
If
bond.
I bend your magic, Lucian's heart will shatter.
Lucian's heart will
Elara's
shatter.
pulse raced.
Elara's pulse
Damien
raced.
raised both
Damien
hands.
raised both
Yes,
hands.
let me hear you
Yes,
scream.
let me hear
Before
you
she
scream.
could fight,
Before
the
she could
fortress
fight,
doors exploded
the fortress
inward.
doors exploded
Lucian stormed
inward.
in with shadows
Lucian
roaring
stormed
behind
in
him.
with shadows
Damien,
roaring
he
behind
growled.
him.
"Step
Damien,
away from her."
he growled.
Damien clapped
Step
slowly.
away from her.
"Ah, brother."
Damien clapped
So
slowly.
predictable.
"Ah, brother."
Lucian's gaze
so
snapped
predictable.
to Elara. When he saw
Lucian's
her
gaze
chained,
snapped to
bruised,
Elara.
shaking,
When he saw her
his
chained,
expression
bruised,
broke.
shaking,
Elara,
his
voice
expression
cracked.
broke.
She swallowed.
Elara, his
Lucian,
voice cracked.
he wants me to break the
She
bond.
swallowed.
I know.
Lucian, he
His
wants
voice
me to
hardened.
break the bond.
And
I
he will
know.
die before he
His
touches
voice
you again.
hardened. and he will
crawled
die
across
before he
Lucian's
touches you
arms
again.
like living creatures.
Shadows crawled
His
across
power
Lucian's
radiated
arms
like
like
a
living
storm ready
creatures.
to break the realm apart.
His power
Damien
radiated like a
smirked.
storm ready to
Then,
break the
let's
realm
end
apart.
this.
Damien
The final
smirked.
battle began.
Then let's end
Lucian
this.
launched forward.
The final battle
claws
began.
extended. Shadows
Lucian
forming
launched
deadly
forward,
tendrils.
claws
Damien
extended,
met him blow for blow.
shadows forming
Their
deadly
powers
tendrils.
colliding like
Damien
thunder.
met him blow
Elara
for blow.
watched helplessly
Their
as the
powers
brothers
colliding
fought.
like thunder.
Brutal.
Elara
fast,
watched helplessly as the brothers fought.
The fortress crumbled
Brutal,
around
fast,
them.
devastating.
Lucian, she cried
The
as Damien
fortress
struck him
crumbled
across the
around
chest,
them.
sending
Lucian,
him crashing into a
she
wall.
cried as Damien
Lucian
struck him
coughed
across
blood,
the chest,
but rose again.
sending him
You
crashing
won't touch
into
her,
a wall.
he snarled.
Lucian
Damien
coughed
laughed.
blood but rose again.
She's already mine.
You won't touch her,
Something
he
inside
snarled.
Lucian snapped.
Damien laughed.
Something deep,
She's already
ancient,
mine.
and unstoppable.
Something inside Lucian
His
snapped.
eyes turned completely
Something
black.
deep, ancient,
Shadows
and
swirling
unstoppable.
around him like a hurricane.
His eyes turned
Elara,
completely black.
he said without
Shadows
turning.
swirling
Close
around
your
him
eyes.
like a hurricane.
She obeyed
Elara,
instantly.
he said
Lucian
without turning.
unleashed a burst
Close
of power
your eyes.
so dark
She
and
obeyed
massive
instantly.
the entire fortress
Lucian
shook.
unleashed a burst
Damien
of power
staggered,
so
but
dark
quickly
and
regained
massive the
footing.
entire fortress
You're
shook.
stronger,
Damien
growled.
staggered but quickly
I'm
regained
smarter.
footing.
He
You're
thrust
stronger,
a dagger forged
Damien
of
growled.
moonstone,
But I'm
Elara's coven
smarter.
sacred stone.
He
straight
thrust a
into
dagger
Lucian's
forged
side.
of moonstone.
Lucian choked,
Elara's
body
coven
folding
sacred
slightly.
stone.
No.
Straight into Lucian's
Elara
side.
screamed,
Lucian
struggling
choked,
against
body
the
folding
chains until her
slightly.
wrists bled.
No.
Damien
Elara
leaned close to
screamed,
Lucian, whispering,
struggling against
"You
the
lose."
chains until her
Lucian
wrists
coughed
bled.
blood and whispered
Damien
back,
leaned close
"Not
to
while
Lucian,
she's alive."
whispering,
At
"You
that
lose."
moment,
Lucian
Elara's
coughed
power
blood
reacted,
and whispered back,
wild,
"Not while she's
explosive.
alive."
Her
At
chains
that
shattered
moment,
into silver
Elara's
dust.
power reacted,
Damien spun
wild,
toward her in shock.
explosive.
Elara
Her
stood,
chains shattered
glowing
into
with
silver
pure
dust.
moonblood force.
Damien
The
spun
ground
toward her in
cracked
shock.
beneath her feet.
Elara
"You
stood,
hurt him,"
glowing
she
with
whispered,
pure moonblood
voice
force.
trembling with fury.
The ground
Damien
cracked
stepped
beneath
back.
her feet.
"Little witch,
"You hurt him,"
you
she
hurt
whispered,
Lucian,"
voice
she
trembling
repeated
with fury.
louder.
Damien
"And now you
stepped
answer
back.
for everything."
"Little witch,
Her power
you hurt
burst
Lucian,"
outward,
she repeated
silver light
louder.
colliding with
"And now
Damien's
you
dark
answer
energy.
for everything."
The force
Her
threw
power
him
burst
across
outward.
the chamber.
Silver
Lucian
light
fell to his
colliding
knees,
with Damien's
gripping
dark
the
energy.
dagger still
The
sunk into
force
his
threw
side.
him across the
Elara,
chamber.
stop.
Lucian
Damien
fell
will.
to his knees,
"I'm not
gripping
afraid,"
the dagger still
she
sunk
said,
into his
stepping
side.
forward.
Elara,
Damien
stop.
roared
Damien
and attacked
will.
with full strength.
"I'm not afraid,"
Elara
she
met
said,
him
stepping
head-on.
forward.
Their magic
Damien
collided,
roared and
light
attacked with
against
full
shadow,
strength.
creating
Elara
a
met him
shockwave that
head-on.
shook the mountains.
Their magic
Damien
collided,
screamed
light
as
against
Elara's
shadow,
power
creating
overwhelmed
a
him,
shockwave that
burning
shook the
through his
mountains.
darkness.
Damien
In a final
screamed
burst
as
of
Elara's
silver
power
fire,
overwhelmed
she
him,
drove her magic
burning
into
through his
chest.
darkness.
Damien's
In a final
body
burst
twisted,
of silver
cracked,
fire,
and
she
shattered
drove
into
her
dust.
magic into his
Silence
chest.
followed.
Damien's
A
body
long,
twisted,
heavy silence.
cracked, and shattered
Elara
into
turned
dust.
to Lucian.
Silence
He was still
followed.
on his knees,
A long,
dagger
heavy
lodged
silence.
deep,
Elara
blood
turned
trailing
to
down his
Lucian.
coat. Lucian.
He was still on his
She
knees.
ran to him,
dagger
catching
lodged
his weight
deep,
as he
blood
fell.
trailing down
He
his
gave
coat.
her a small,
Lucian.
pained smile.
She ran to
"You
him,
saved me.
catching his weight as
Don't
he
talk,"
fell.
she whispered,
He gave
tears
her a
streaming.
small, pained
"Don't you
smile.
dare talk like you're
"You
dying."
saved me.
Lucian reached
Don't
up,
talk,"
brushing
she
her
whispered,
cheek with
tears
a
streaming.
blood-stained hand.
"Don't you dare
"Elara,
talk
the
like you're
bond
dying."
kept me alive long
Lucian
enough to
reached
see you
up,
safe."
brushing her
Lucian.
cheek with a blood-stained
He
hand.
swallowed weakly.
"Elara,
"If I
the
don't make
bond.
it, stop."
It kept me alive
Her
long
voice
enough
broke.
to see you safe.
"You promised
Lucian,
to teach me to
he
control my
swallowed
magic.
weakly.
You promised
If I
to
don't
protect
make
me.
it,
You don't get to
stop."
leave."
Her voice broke.
Lucian
"You
chuckled
promised
softly,
to teach
a
me to
broken
control
sound.
my magic.
Very demanding
You
for
promised
someone
to
who once
protect
wanted
me.
me dead.
You don't get to
Elara
leave."
pressed her forehead
Lucian
to his.
chuckled softly.
"I don't want you
a
dead.
broken sound.
I don't want anything
Very
to happen to
demanding
you."
for someone
Lucian's
who once
breathing
wanted me
slowed.
dead.
Elara
pressed her
she
forehead
gathered
to
her power.
his.
Her
"I don't
hands
want you
glowed
dead.
silver.
I don't
"I won't
want
lose
anything
you,"
to
she
happen
whispered.
to you."
"Not
Lucian's
now.
breathing
Not
slowed.
ever."
"Elara,"
Her magic flowed
she
into
gathered
him,
her power,
surrounding the wound,
her hands
sealing
glowed
the
silver.
torn flesh.
"I won't
Lucian
lose
gasped
you,"
as
she
life
whispered.
surged back.
"Not now.
When the light
Not
faded,
ever."
she
Her
collapsed
magic
against
flowed
him,
into him,
exhausted.
surrounding the wound,
Lucian caught her,
sealing the
holding
torn
her tightly.
flesh.
"Elara,"
Lucian
he
gasped
murmured,
as life surged
voice
back.
thick with emotion.
When the light
"What are
faded,
you doing to me?"
she collapsed
She looked
against
up at
him,
him,
exhausted.
tired,
Lucian caught
tear-stained,
her,
but
holding her
alive.
tightly.
"What you've been doing to
Elara,
me,"
he
she
murmured,
whispered.
voice thick
"From the
with
moment we
emotion.
met."
What are you
Lucian
doing
brushed
to
a
me?
stray hair
She
from her
looked up
face.
at him.
"For the
Tired,
first time in
tear-stained,
centuries," he
but
whispered,
alive.
"I
What
have
you've
something
been
to live
doing to
for."
me, she whispered.
Elara leaned
From
into
the
him,
moment we met.
"And for the first time in my
Lucian
life,"
brushed a
she
stray
whispered
hair
back,
from her face.
"I have someone to
For
fight
the first
for.
time in
The
centuries,
fortress
he
lay
whispered.
in ruins.
I have
The
something
bond
to live
pulsed
for.
stronger than ever.
Elara leaned
The war
into
was
him.
won.
And for
But
the
their
first
story,
time in my
their
life,
fate,
she whispered back,
had only just
I
begun.
have someone to fight for. The fortress lay in ruins. The bond pulsed stronger than ever. The war was won. But their story, their fate, had only just begun. If you enjoyed this dark and magical journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, so you never miss another heart-stopping tale from the world of supernatural romance.